Hi everyone and welcome back to Cleaning the EC Way. Today is the first day of the new year and that means it's time to take Christmas down. And I thought that I would take you along with me as I show you my process. If you're new here, welcome. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. As you can see behind me, I'm in my storage room and I've got to start taking all of these upstairs because it has my regular stuff in it. And this year you can see I didn't put up one of my Christmas trees, so you're going to see that, and we don't put the balls on anymore, but we're going to start with these small items and then work our way to the tree. So I've got to get all of these boxes up first. I want to show you guys some of my Christmas decorations. I get one of these every year since we moved into the home. They are Jim Shore Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer figurines. And then this I got when my older son was just little, and I got it with the intention of them being able to play with it. And as you can see, the ear has broken on the mule. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these off first because those boxes actually take up a lot of room. And I make a pile on the ground and I'm going to put all of them into their boxes just to make sure that they stay safe. And each one of them has their own little box. And I love it, but that foam makes such a mess all over my ground, which you will see later in the video. Once I have all of those filled up, it is time to get the rest of the Christmas, and I just make a pile on the ground. But before I do that, I kind of want to show off a little bit of my vintage Christmas collection. Now, my decor is not very vintage in style, but I love at Christmas time, I get to put this kind of stuff in my house because they're so whimsical and so cute. This little girl, when I found her, I was so excited. For one, her angel wings are not broken. And for two, it is so hard to find vintage Christmas girls. Now this guy I know is just a planter that somebody put a Christmas tree in, and it's not meant to be a Christmas decor, but I loved it so much that it is part of my Christmas decorations. Now my sons don't really like this beetle that much, but I don't care. I think it's cute. We're just going to take everything out and move on to the next shelf. I love Annalise dolls. Their faces are so cute. And another thing is they put the year that it was released on the tag. This little bunny riding this sled is so reminiscent of my childhood because my dad still had his Radio Flyer sleds from when he was younger. And that's what we used to go sledding with. These little girls are not my favorite, but I think they're cute enough to be a part of my collection. They're Napco wear, and they do have some damage, some hair loss, but I don't care. I think they're cute enough to be a part of my Christmas decor. Here's another Annalise doll that is from 1994. These aren't vintage, but they're vintage inspired, and I love them. And this came from my mom's home, and I absolutely adore it. Now this is a Lefton tea light candle holder, and it is so cute. I don't put a tea light in it, I just put a tree in it, and I love her. Now these girls remind me of my childhood because my best friend who lived next door to me always had these Homeco little figurines in her bedroom, and I was always jealous. They weren't these specifically, but she did have stuff like that. Here's my Lennox Nativity and some of my other vintage Christmas. This came from my mom's house. Now there is a local woman that hand sculpts these and puts them together by hand, and I absolutely love the work she does. Now this is a golden ticket. They are Holt Howard and they're from 1960. If you find Holt Howard as you're out shopping, they're worth a lot of money. And when I found these, I probably squealed really loud, but they are my favorite Christmas item I actually have. Now, these guys, I don't necessarily know if they were meant for Christmas, but when I got them, there was paint loss and none of the gems were there. So I repainted and put Christmas colored gems in, just make it part of Christmas. And here I am. I make piles of everything, like the breakables together and the non-breakables together. And then I'm going to put them into a tote. I also have these that were a gift from my mother-in-law, and I still have my Christmas tree. I need to take all of my regular decor out of the tote and replace it with everything that's over here. When I am putting items into my tote, I usually put a plastic bag around them. They're just going down one flight of stairs, so I'm not too concerned about things breaking. They can break, but I'm not too concerned about it. I just got this tote filled up and I have to piece together another one. And I do kind of just put it in like a puzzle. And I try to get them so they don't move as much as possible when I'm putting them in the tote. Here's an empty tote, and I got to get all of this into that tote. We are done, and you can see all of the gunk on the ground. And there are some dark spots on my carpet that we're going to have their carpets cleaned in the next few weeks. Don't judge, but we're going to hurry and vacuum before I show you the next thing I do. Now, I don't do a typical spring clean of my house. There are specific times during the year that I will do spring clean type cleaning. And when I remove everything from my bookshelves is when I'm going to spring clean behind them. And I'm going to vacuum in front of them because as I move the bookshelves out, I don't want to get anything that's in front of them right now stuck under it and pushed back under to make it even dirtier behind there. Now, during Christmas time, I'm going to be honest, and I don't do a very good job dusting my bookshelves because there's a lot of little things and that's a lot of work. So I'm just taking, this is my maintenance duster, and I'm going to do a quick dusting with it, the top and through all of the bookshelves quickly before I move them out. And as you can see, it is pretty dusty back here. I'm going to vacuum the floor first, just to try to pick up some of the stuff so I'm not tracking it everywhere. And then I'll move on to cleaning those floorboards. Now I just vacuum along the edge to pick up any of the loose dust and hair that may be back there. And the wall was a little dusty, so I am just vacuuming that quickly. And I'm also going to vac the edges of my carpet. This is the only corner that really was nasty. And that's because it's right next to the doggy door. And dogs, oh my gosh, they bring in so much grossness. Why do we have to love them that much? I will say my house would be a lot cleaner with my little cute, adorable puppies. The back of the bookshelves were dusty, so I decided to hurry and vacuum those as well. And I'm just going to go through and spray and wipe any spots. The majority of it didn't need to be wiped down. It just needed to be dusted. But any spots I did get, and of course it's right next to the doggy door. And since I already have this out, and it has been a couple of months, I just went through and decided to clean these spindles on my railing. Now we have behind cleaned. We've got to clean the rest of these bookshelves, and I'm just going to spray them down and wipe it. And I'm going to get all 3 sides of my bookshelf. Now, I don't just do this one time a year. They get really gross from my dogs bringing mud in. But since I'm doing a spring clean of the bookshelves, behind the bookshelves, we're going to just wipe them all out. And excuse my head from getting in the way. And this bottom edge gets really muddy. And as you can see, it has been scratched up from the vacuum. I need to replace them or paint them, but they fit perfect in their spot and I just don't want to do anything to get rid of them. And before I put the stuff back in to the bookshelf, I have a damp rag, lightly damp, and I'm just going to wipe everything down to make everything shine. We're putting everything back together and we want it to be beautiful. Here it is. We got everything clean and put back. Again, I still have to do my Christmas tree.